All right, we're live. Hey everybody, Justin here, and today I finally get time to sit down and check out the new version 3 firmware for the Yamaha Montage M8X, which I have sitting in front of me. I did go through some of the presets earlier and I picked out a few favorites that I thought I would showcase here. But we'll talk about some of the new features, some of the updates that they've done. I'll give you my thoughts on it, things that I like, things that I would like to see maybe in the next update. But this should be a fun one. All right, so I believe Yamaha released version 3 for the Montage M series last week. And I was away on vacation, so I couldn't update it at the time. I couldn't update my rig at the time because obviously I was away, and I didn't have time to get things done until this morning. I did update the church's firmware. The church here has an M8X as well, and I was able to get that updated yesterday morning. As far as the update process, it's not too challenging. You will need a USB flash drive. USB 2 or USB 3 will work. You'll need one more than 8 gigabytes in size, and make sure that there's nothing on it except for the update file for the firmware update, which you can get on, I believe, Yamaha's website. The first thing you'll want to do, though, is format your drive in the Montage if it hasn't been formatted already. Once you do that, make a backup file. And once you've done that, take the backup file, take the drive, plug it into your computer, and move the backup file maybe onto the desktop or in the documents folder so that you know where it is and that you can put it on when you're done the update. Hello there in the chat. I see one person. Good to see you. So once you've moved the backup file off of the drive onto your computer, then you're going to delete everything off the drive and just put the firmware file, the update file, onto the drive, put it in the back of the Montage, and you're going to turn the Montage on while you're holding the up cursor and the utility buttons. When you do that, the Yamaha logo is going to show up. When that logo shows up, go ahead and let go of the buttons. It'll tell you if there's any errors with your drive. If it doesn't see the drive at all, then there's probably something wrong with the drive. Don't worry about that. Just power off the Montage, power it back on, and then format the drive on the Montage. What's going to happen is if it sees the drive and it sees the file, it's going to start the update. Your super knob is going to turn a bright red color. That means it's updating, it's working. The update takes between 30 and 40 minutes, probably closer to the 40 minutes. So while it's updating, I don't know, maybe get a snack, get some coffee, watch a TV show or something, watch something else on my YouTube channel, go to my Bandcamp page, a couple of shameless plugs. Once the update is done, the knob will light up green, and then you can power cycle the Montage. So turn it off, wait a few seconds, and then turn it back on, and then it'll be updated. When you do the update, you'll want to load your backup file back in. I didn't have to do that. All of my sounds and all of my set lists have been kept. The only thing you'll want to do is in the utility menu, change any settings back. You'll want to double check those. It should be uploaded, or it should be included in the backup file anyway. But let's see. All right, so I've got audio here. All right, so just pulling up another tab here. Now that we get that out of the way, so what is new in version 3? Well, I pulled up Yamaha's website, and I'm going to kind of rattle off the new features here. I just have to zoom in because 2050 vision with these glasses, and I'm totally blind as a bat. Version 2.1 to version 3, here are the new features. There are new effect types. There's 3 of them. There's a GS1 ensemble and tremolo, a mid-side EQ compressor, and a CS ring modulator. Those have been added. Some new clavinet waveforms have been added and some performances have been added. There's a total of 60 new performances. I won't go through all of them. I'll go through some of them. Like I said, some of my favorites. ANX and FMX parameters have been added to the part LFO destination. So you've got more destination for doing some cool modulations and things like that. The maximum number of loadable libraries has been increased from 16 to 24. So what does that mean? More sounds you could store on here. Seamless sound switching, or SSS time, has been added, which basically means, I'll show you what seamless sound switching is. It means if I play a sound and I go to another sound, it's a seamless change. You don't hear any effect dropouts or anything. So what does it mean by SSS time? Well, the time that it takes for the new sound to load up can be adjusted now. I think it's from instant to about 30 seconds. So if you're holding a pad and you're waiting, and you want to have that pad, like, hold, I guess. I don't know. I don't see myself using that feature that much, but somebody else might. Performance note shift has been added. Keyboard hold lock has been added. ESP control has been added in DAW remote. So this has a DAW remote button in here, and you're able to control the ESP plugin, which is basically the software instrument version of this. I'll talk about my thoughts on that on the plugin version. Note limit and note shift have been added to scene with support for external parts. So it's one more thing you can save, one more parameter you can save in these 8 scenes over here. Now supports record and share. Improvements have been made to the user interface. So one cool thing that I noticed, and I wish I had an overhead camera to show you the screen, but the ribbon controller actually has a view on the screen now. So if I go to Performance Home and I change, if I turn the last knob over here, which is View Mode, all the way to the right, now I can see the ribbon controller right on the screen, and I can use it right on the screen, which is kind of cool, and you can see it move over here on the left. So what if I was playing something and I wanted to use the ribbon? Well, I can use it on the screen. Just not on this particular patch. So I don't have to do any weird crossing over with my right hand to use the ribbon. So that's one thing. All right. Okay. Now that we get that out of the way, let's check out some of these sounds. So to get to the new version 3 sounds, we're going to hit the category button. And then we're going to go to the attributes tab, and you do that by clicking the attribute button that's up in the upper left of the screen. And now we see towards the bottom we have a group of 5 different selections. So you can select between Motif XF sounds, original Montage sounds, and 3 banks of Montage M sounds for the 3 major OS updates. So version 1, version 2, and version 3. We're going to touch the version 3, and now it's only going to show us the performances from the new version 3 firmware. So we're going to check some of these out right now. I don't know. We'll see how inspired I am to check a lot of these out. All right. Just move my mic here. Okay. All right. So first of all, I'll go through each category and I'll pick out a few performances. So this is CFX wide spreaded. And if you hear any noise in the background, it's the AC all the way at the other end of the church. It's a little warm in here. I'll just mute my mic as I play so you can hear what this sounds like. Yeah, that is a beautiful piano sound. I see that. I can see using that in some softer, more classical style pieces that I might be writing, but that's easily a favorite of mine. All right, yeah, I like that one a lot. I like it on the softer side. The harder side is nice. I mean, the harder side is nice. I think the sweet spot is when it's played delicately. Yeah, that's a very nice piano. Me likey. All right, what else we got? Let's check this one out. The acoustic piano C3 wide synth pad. So this is going to be a C3 piano with a pad. I hear some modulation going on already. But let's see where this one takes me. All right, let's play a little bit more sparsely, and then let's mess around with the super knob and see what happens. Yeah, I like that one a lot. Very nice. All right, and then we have a GS1 acoustic piano. So this is probably going to feature one of the new effects in here, the GS1 Ensemble. Let's see what that one gives us. that's kind of cool. So for those that don't know what the GS1 is, it's a very early FM synthesizer, and I believe it's the first FM synth that Yamaha released. It originally came in an 88 key package in a wooden cabinet similar to the shape of a grand piano. Very famously used on Toto's Africa. It was the kalimba marimba sounds. And it stored presets on it, and you basically had a little card with a magnetic strip on it that you would insert into the GS1 to get your sounds. The only way to program it was with a programmer that was incredibly rare. I think only like 1 or 2 are known to exist now, maybe a little bit more, but don't quote me on that. All right, let's move over to the EP category. So I'll just start playing some of these EPs. So this is the GS1 MM piano. Okay, let's move down to the Neo GS1 E piano. All right, this one's called the Vintage Couple. We're still in the keyboard category. Now we get some synth strings with the super knob. All right, let's check out Cinema EP. All right, so this has another brand new effect in here, the CS Ring mod. So we'll hear some of that in here, and we'll also hear some of that maybe a little later in one of the other categories. And as you can hear, we can go to some really wild places with that effect. All right, now we get to some of the new waveforms in here. So OS3 adds some clavinet waveforms with a couple of different pickup combinations, if you're familiar with the clavinet. I won't go into too much detail. I just want to play through these and see what we have. So this is Clav CA Direct. We've also got some release samples that you heard in the at the end there. Yeah, right there. All right, here's an amped version of that. All right, here is Clav DA Direct. So this is going to be a little bit more brighter than the last one. Okay, and here's the amped version of that. All right, really cool. All right, so we have a couple in the organ. We have a GS1 pipe organ. All right, here in the guitar category, this one's really going to show off the GS1 ensemble effect. This is called Vintage GS Guitar. All right, this is called the Ultra Wide MS Bass. We're in the bass category now. So this is going to show off the mid-side compression EQ. All right, let's go to the strings category. We have some cool stuff in here. Okay. This is GS1 String Ensemble. This one's called Wide Side Synth Strings, so again some mid-side stuff happening here. All right, now we'll check out some brass stuff here. So this is a GS1 brass. They're 100% mono coming through there. Let me check something here. Hang on, I'm going to check something. All right, try this. All right, I'll run through a couple of these again. So that you can get the mid-side stuff. Let me go back to the strings. So I'm glad that you caught this because I never would have. I just got this board too, and I'm running a separate mix for StreamYard, and I haven't figured out how to assign my headphones to this particular mix yet. So I need to figure that out so I can hear exactly what's going on. But what's happening is on the sends for the montage, even though I have the channels linked, the width of these two channels wasn't set up properly. All right, so let's check out that wide string section again. Now you should have the stereo. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. I never would have caught that. Let's go back into the EPs. Now you'll be able to hear it. Now we'll revisit the acoustic piano that I played earlier. Sounds way better in stereo. All right, why don't we move on? We were in the brass category. Now we get to the pad stuff. And let's see what we got in here. All right. All right, this one's called Soft Mover. Inverted pages, thank you. All right, this one's called Follow the Light. This one's called Cosmic Farewell. That one's very big sounding. All right, let's go to the synth comp category. All right, this one's called Punchy Rush. All right, we'll do one more here. This one's called Synths for Ludwig. Yeah, I like that sound. Um, so I did have a chance to go through some of these sounds earlier. I tried streaming this on Facebook, and I meant to stream it on YouTube, and it wasn't working. Um, but like I said at the beginning, I did kind of choose, kind of pick and choose some of the ones that really stood out to me the most, and maybe some of the ones that I might consider using in my own stuff. I might tweak them a little bit. It would be nice to have some poly aftertouch going on in some of these. But I see what they were trying to do with showing off the ensemble effect, the mid-side effect, and the ring mod effect. So the three new effects that are in here. And I will say they did a good job with that. So they did update the plugin as well, the ESP plugin. I will tell you, um, yes, it's got the OS3 sounds in it, but I don't see myself using the plugin very much. It is still very CPU intensive. I had a friend on Facebook actually do a review on version 3.0 on, I think it's the ProSynth Network channel. They ended up, I guess he ended up doing a video on it a couple days ago. I still haven't had a chance to check that one out. But he has said that it was a little less CPU intensive than it used to be. I personally don't notice a difference. It's still pegging out between 40% and 60% CPU usage, even on a basic motif sound where you're only using like one AWM part. So it would be nice if Yamaha found a way to improve that. The other thing that I'm not a big fan of is the GUI scaling on the plugin hasn't improved at all. You've got a small window and a large window. It might be fine on like a 1080p resolution, but where I'm on a curved monitor, a 32-inch with near 4K resolution on it, it would be nice to have some extra scaling on that interface so I can actually see what's going on because, like I said earlier, 20/50 vision with these glasses, so I'm kind of blind as a bat in that department. I will say the update process is pretty straightforward, like I said at the beginning of the stream. Now, what would I like to see on, say, version 4? I'd like to see some Wurlitzer samples. I'll show you the ones that I do use if I can find it. It's going to take a little bit, but I do have a particular Wurlitzer patch that I do use. Actually, I can go to setlist mode, because I did a gig a couple of nights ago where I needed to have, where I only had like half of my rig available to me, because it was a very, very small stage, so I had to quickly like grab some sounds before the show. See, normally I hate changing sounds in the middle of a song, but I digress. So here's the Whirly plugin, Whirly performance that I use. It's called WR Amp. It's good, it's passable. I'd like to hear some better ones in here, though, on version 4. I'll show you something else that I'd like to see happen. Before I talk about that, they have improved the setlist mode in a couple of ways, like the workflow of it. So you can now insert. Let's say if you've got a performance that you want to insert between two slots here in the setlist mode, you can do that. You can also, when you delete something out of the set list, you can have an option where it'll actually get rid of that empty space and it'll condense everything down. So it'll move everything after that slot backwards. so you don't have like an empty space. So that's a cool little touch. Now, what else would I like to see in version 4 or even a version 3.5 is with the portamento feature on here. So for those that don't know what portamento is, it's where, so I've got my big brass aftertouch patch here. Now I'll throw the portamento on. So what the portamento does is it adds a glide between two notes. So when I play one note and I play another, the next note, it's going to glide from the note I just played. So play that note, and the next note I play is going to glide from that high like that. Now what I'd like to see them add is something that's in the CS80 and I believe the DX7 as well, and that's a glissando mode. So instead of a smooth glide from one note to another, instead of that smooth glide, it would go to half steps. So if I play something really fast like this, it would sound like this. It's really pronounced when I play it slow like that, but at a faster speed, it's a subtle effect, but it's a pretty nice one to have. The Hydra Deluxe also has that too. So I would say the glissando function for portamento and some Wurlitzer samples would be nice to have. I'd also like to see a couple more chorus effects. Like something similar to a Roland Dimension chorus. That would be nice to have. And maybe, I don't know, also some like analog piano samples would be cool too, like some CP15 or CP30 sounds. So that's pretty much, I've covered everything that I wanted to cover here in version 3.0. As far as any other features, there's plenty of information on YouTube as far as some of the other workflow features in the M8X. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a live stream there. This was a fun little exploration. Had a good time. Definitely found some new sounds that I like in here that I want to start incorporating into some of my music. So I'm going to call that a live stream. Now I get to do the obligatory, if you liked this live stream or anything else on my channel, be sure to subscribe to my channel, and also make sure you click the notification icon. That'll let you know when I go live and when I release a new video. If you want to check out some of my music, head over to my Bandcamp page. Oh, you're so welcome. All right, Bandcamp, where are you? Right there on the bottom. justinhaveyou.bandcamp.com. So head over there and check out some of my music over there, and feel free to purchase any of my music over there. It definitely helps me being able to create more videos like this, and possibly do some more reviews and things like that. I would like to eventually get to the point where I'm getting sent some stuff. I do have a friend in Saco, Maine, who has an affiliate program with Zounds. So they send him stuff all the time to check out and review. It would be cool to eventually, sometime down the road, maybe get affiliated with them or with Sweetwater, where I purchased this M8X, to maybe do some reviews in the future. But we'll see what happens. All right, so that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for watching on replay when you watch it afterwards. And I will catch you next time. Take care.